Welcome to Sound People. We are here today with Belinda and Venise from Simple Goodness Sisters based out of Wilkeson, Washington, and I am so excited to share their story, a local brand that's really taking off. How did you guys start in business?
We started in 2018 bottling our first batch of syrups. At the time, I had a cocktail catering business where our syrups really emerged as like the secret sauce that made our drinks really memorable and exciting for people at events. And I was sourcing from my sister's farm. She just said, hey, I'm so good at growing things. Now we have way too much and you're not going through enough just at your events. And so why don't we try to find a way to put this in a bottle and make it so you can sell it to your customers and online.
For me as a farmer, I'm always looking for every which way that I can use the fruits of my labor. Anyone who's ever grown anything knows how hard it is. You don't want to throw it away. And so that's really where it came to, is there a way that we can preserve that and allow people, not only just here in Washington, but kind of all over, to be able to take something from my farm and enjoy it in their home. Also, keep it from going bad. And so that's a lot of how people used to do things back in the olden days, is that they would, grow a lot of the things from scratch and then have to find a way to preserve it because they didn't have a bunch of freezers and refrigeration space.
Or they didn't have products coming from other countries at different times of year. So, when you had blueberry season, you made as many things you could with blueberries so that you could enjoy that flavor year round.
I love the historical aspect and the community aspect that I think that the brand stands for. You're using stuff from your farm, local products or berries. It's part of Wilkeson and the history of Wilkeson. You guys grew up locally. It's very community and family based. Is there an entrepreneurial spirit in your family, or where did this idea come from to strike out and do something as adventurous as this?
My grandpa had a business, and then my dad and his brothers were each actually trained in a trade. They all had a construction business together, and then the brothers moved on to start a construction supply store that they ran for 30 years. So definitely entrepreneurial spirit runs deep in our family. Also, our parents didn't do any farming, but our grandparents did, and we have an aunt who had a berry farm in the Kent Valley. So being around growing things as really young kids, that was always something that was really memorable for me. I hated being in the hot, dusty berry fields, but I loved when we would bring it home and be able to make delicious things. And so after I was grown up and mature enough, we got more interested in growing and having our own gardens.
Let's talk a little bit about the syrup itself. So you mix it. It started as a cocktail mixer. Mm-hmm. And now, what are all the things that you put it in?
So we have the soda shop, which is in Wilkeson, Washington, and that really idea in converting this very old building into a restaurant and a cafe really stemmed from the idea of people are like, how do I use this? And so we wanted to be able to show them and allow them to taste all of the different ways that they can use these syrups. Belinda does a lot of the recipe development, and she's always making really fun cocktails and mocktails, but also sodas. Our lemonades are just lemon juice and water, and then it is sweetened with our syrups. We also do coffee. You can put them in tea, and we also have ice cream. So there's like a million different ways that you can use a syrup, and at the soda shop we really try to highlight all of those different ways.
You can feel the community within the store, which I really like. You have the old pictures, there's the stories of the buildings that used to be there with the theater. But if someone says, hey, Wilkeson's a little bit too far to travel, you have a big part of your business that's also online.
We have a subscription box, and it really is about the idea of being able to bring our cocktail farm to your door, whether you live in Nebraska or Puyallup or Tacoma. It's every other month, and whatever we're highlighting that month is what recently grew really well, or we're sourcing from another farm. And it's our ability to be really creative. So we have our standard flavors that are available. We call them like our classics line, and those are available online and in our store all the time. But these are fun things like sweet corn and pomelo peppercorn and lime jalapeno, things that we're not going to make as many bottles of. It's a little more specialty, but it's our fun opportunity to be really uber seasonal and really highlight individual farms as well. Anything we don't grow on our farm, we're trying to source from a family farm, primarily in Washington State.
My favorite thing that you explained about the syrups too is the blueberries and how you do the blueberries, and the skin is in it, and capturing the taste of a blueberry is pretty challenging to do. And how you said, look, with our syrup, the way that it's made, it's as though you have muddled fresh blueberries right there in your drink, but you haven't had to do the work of that in your own kitchen. You have the syrup and it makes it easy.
It's kind of like a barbecue. It's like the secret is in the sauce. The pieces that really highlight a dish are oftentimes seem so simple, but can be so complex to make. And so we do all the hard work for you.
And the difference, as you mentioned, is that we start from whole ingredients. So we really try to avoid using juices. You're not going to have the same depth of flavor as you using the skin and the tannins that you get from that in a blueberry. And so if you're trying to get the whole rounded flavor of something, it's taken a lot of process and experimentation and years of work, but we've really figured out how to dial those flavors in.
You started this back in 2018, and every year has been a little bit of an adventure, and your most recent adventure was the book.
Yeah, so Drink Your Garden, it really takes like the last decade of everything we've done, learning how to preserve flavors into beverages. It starts out telling you how to grow ingredients in your own garden or even in a windowsill or, like a small pot on your patio that you can then put into drinks. And then from there, we kind of talk about the basics of making a great cocktail. And then we take that kind of foundational knowledge and we dive into these recipes. It's a really fun way to drink through the seasons and learn how to, be a gardens glass mixologist at home.
A lot of your business is built around the restaurant and local events. What's coming up?
Yeah, well, we love a party, so we throw a lot of them. Coming up, we have Garlic and Goats, which is a really fun farmers market style festival. We also do live concerts, and so we have one of those at the end of summer with Jan Fiscum is coming on the August 31st. She was on The Voice, and she's really talented.
I love what you guys have done. You've been able to push this out here through your entrepreneurial spirit. Really remarkable. I hope you all take an opportunity to go out to Wilkinson, Washington.
The Fairfax Bridge is closed this year, and so a lot of our tourists that used to come through to hike at Mount Rainier are not coming through anymore. Wilkinson itself has a couple of different businesses in town, and they could all use their support, and it's a great day trip.
There's a beautiful historic tour too as a response to the bridge closure that Visit Mount Rainier helped put together for our town. If you've never been, Wilkinson looks like a snapshot of exactly what it looked like in 1890, and that's pretty cool and pretty rare, especially on the west side of Washington.